Hello and welcome to this training video for Spyder Spanker. First of all, I want to say thank you for your purchase. We really do appreciate your support. I know you're really going to like this plugin, and I'm going to go over some of the settings right now. I'll try to make this short and sweet. I know that there's not a whole lot to it really. It's all kind of self-explanatory, but we'll do the best we can here. Okay, so after you register, you can it'll log you right into your settings here. And the first thing you'll see is the throttle to randomness. This means you can sort of tone down how much, say, Googlebot and MSNbot and maybe a few others team up on your site. You can, give them not 100% access to your site at all times, or you can tone them down. And what this means is say 50% of the time on a random number they'll come by and they'll receive a code that's a 304, and that just simply means that hey, everything's cool, nothing's changed, we're fine, come back later. And that way they don't crawl your site as much. Sometimes they can get too hot and heavy on your site. I've seen it happen many times to my sites and sites of my customers, especially with blogs with hundreds or thousands of posts. Google bot especially will never ever leave and constantly clog up your server or your shared hosting environment, especially if you have a number of blogs that have a lot of pages and posts. I see it happen a lot. And so the throttle randomness basically applies to everything here in your whitelist. Okay, these are the good bots that you want to come in, and no matter what you put in a block, as long as if they're in a whitelist, this block's not going to affect them. So if you accidentally put the word, bot in here, you see the word, there it is right there. For example, the word bot exists in the block users list, but Googlebot's going to get it anyway because he's whitelisted. But if some random robot came by and they just had the word bot in their username and they weren't in this whitelist, then they're going to get blocked. Okay, there's probably no need for just some random spider called bot to come by and traverse your site. Another couple of spiders I want to talk about here is the Baidu spider, which is here. I have it blocked by default. That's the Chinese search engine, and also the Russian search engine Yandex. Now, if you like those guys coming by and indexing your site, go ahead, but be forewarned that those two bots are very aggressive and they tend to really sit on your sites and can take up your resources. I prefer not to have them because honestly I have no Chinese nor Russian visitors, no desire for them. But just so you know, those two are in there. The rest of these bots are pretty much just evil bad bots. Blog Pulse, actually that was just a test, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. You can probably keep Blog Post Live. So basically you can click anything on here and remove, and you can also, if you know of another nasty bot that you want to put in here, you can put in here and just push add. Okay, and you can also do blocks. You can add, you can paste in a whole list here. Okay, or you can take a whole list out or whatever you want to do. So that's just a fast way of adding and removing a lot of user agents at once. So these are in the user agents, by the way, in case you didn't know that. Those are what's called user agents. Let me skip back up here to the top for a minute. The blocked return status. You can do a lot of different things here. The back to them is kind of nasty. This will point them. This will point them right back to their own IP address, right back where they came from. So they basically hit your site and bounce back to their home base and spy their own site and use their own resources. Okay, so those are kind of nasty. I really like them. But you don't have to be that nasty if you don't want to. Forbidden is always good. Maybe they'll get the hint. Bad request is always good too. Maybe they won't come back. Request timed out is probably the best because they think your domain's dead, and maybe they'll de-index your content and never come back. Okay. Um, Service unavailable. So here's all these you can use. I'm just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to keep this on forbidden right now. And anytime you make any changes, you want to click Save Settings. Here's the live traffic view. What you'll see in this box is your visitors and your spiders, and I'll do some more demonstrations on that in just a second. You can also see if someone comes to your site via search engine, you're also going to see what keyword they're using. So if you're just sitting here, oh yeah, I forgot, you got to click watch traffic. It's not going to scroll until you click watch traffic. and then it's going to give you the last 8 records, the last 8 hits that it has in its database. Um, okay, so moving on down here in Spyder Spanker Pro, we also have the IP address range whitelist, so you can whitelist yourself here in the IP address that you're on. Those are just for some internal reasons. Those will be automatically put in there. You'll see localhost and the IP of your site. You can also whitelist, you know, other IP addresses if you wish. It's not really used for much, but just in case you want to be safe and whitelist, different things. I don't use that much at all. The blocked IP address ranges. This is pretty cool, where you can basically block an entire. What I've done here by default is block the entire class C of the whois.sc bot. That's also known as domain tools. They're real aggressive. They will trespass on your site. They will bypass your robots.txt file. They'll change their IP addresses. They're really hard to block. As a web hosting provider, I actually block these cats at the gate. My routers won't let these guys in, so you have no worries about them on my hosts. But none of the other hosts will do that, I'm sure. So any IPs out there that you want to block, if you any known Russian hackers or Chinese hackers or anything like that you see hitting your sites, you can add them here in the same way with this add box, and then the cut and paste if you've got a range. Okay. Now another great thing I like here is you know what, I have this in here by default. I think everyone should keep it in here unless you live in China or Russia or North Korea. Then you probably want to take those out. But anybody that connects to your blog and the reverse IP lookup shows .cn, .kp, or .ru, they're going to get blocked as well. And from a web hosting provider's standpoint, most all attacks come from those 3 countries. There's a few more that you can add, but I didn't want to get too aggressive blocking countries by default. If you want to add some other countries in there, you're more than welcome to do that. Nigeria would be a good one. I see a lot of fake credit cards coming in from Nigeria because they run a pretty big scam over there in Nigeria. But really, that's all there is to that. I'll go over a couple things right now. Right here you can see I'm hitting this site with a user agent called Smokey Joe Test, and I just wanted to show exactly what that does. Okay, so let's say Smokey Joe Test is coming in and I want to block him because I don't like that spider. Okay, here he is. I've already got him added to my block user agent list. Okay, so I'm going to go over here to my other server, and it shows here this is just another server, a virtual server, and I've got this browser set up to be Smokey Joe Test, and I use a user agent switcher right here on Firefox, and so I have it set to Smokey Joe Test. This site is called What is My User Agent, and as you can see, that's what it is. So now when I go to my helicopter RC camera site, I get 403. All right, let me show you another status real quick just to prove to you that that's what it's doing. Let me go ahead and give it a unauthorized. Okay, we'll just try that one. And let me click Save Settings. Okay, now that it's saved, let's go see what it says now. 401 unauthorized. So that's basically what'll happen. Now if I change my user agent back to Internet Explorer 8, okay, now when I go and hit the site, it lets me in, no problem. But since Smokey Joe is being blocked, Smokey Joe can't get in. Here, let me show you the redirect them back onto themselves real quick, just to sort of prove to you that works as well. Oh, you know what? My screenshot's not going to be able to show it to you very well, but I'll minimize it here. Okay, so here, I think you can see that now. Now watch what happens when I hit the site. Tries to connect, and then what happened? It can't establish connection. Why? Because basically this is a virtual Windows server. Okay, so it redirected me back onto my own IP address. That's pretty slick. So it basically just sent the bot, or sent that session, bounced it right back to where it came from. So That's pretty cool. Kind of devilish, but okay. Hope I proved to you that that's how that works. Everything's cool. Now let me and see here. You can see right here the traffic came in. There's my IP again that I just hit it with, and there's the browser I use, the Windows NT 6.1. That's what I had my basically IE 8.0. That's what I meant to say. IE 8.0. That's what it came in as. All right, cool. Let me just show you something right here. Let me just go ahead and add about called ZZZ. Okay, so now it's in the system. Let me go ahead and hit save settings. And this is on helicopterrccamera.org. And what I want to do is I have another website, another blog called Mini Helicopter RC. And okay, so now that I've blocked Smokey Joe and ZZZ, what I want to do is save, basically share my settings with Mini Helicopter RC. You can add all your blogs in right here through the same examples that I showed you before, through cut and paste, or add them one at a time. Okay, attempted to publish. It's published successfully. All right, now let's go over here to my Mini Helicopter. Okay, right here it already says, it already tells me remote settings received. Click here to show settings. Okay, I won't do that, but let's go in here and look at what we got here. Oh, I got to refresh the page first. Okay, nothing's there until I refresh this. I should have clicked show settings, and then it would have refreshed it. Okay, so refreshed it. Let me go ahead and watch traffic while we're sitting here. And now let's go ahead and look down in here, see if we got my Z's. There's my Z's. Notice I added those on the helicopter camera blog, and they're all the way back over here. Let's see if Smokey Joe's in here too. Yep, right there, Smokey Joe. Okay, remember my user agent was Smokey Joe test? Okay, it matches sort of anything in that regard. So Smokey Joe matches Smokey Joe test. That way you don't have to be exact on the user agent. So you have to be careful. You don't want to block the letter S. You want to put something in there that means something. Okay, I think everyone's smart enough to figure that out. Yeah. So okay, that's just about it. The last thing I have for you on Spyder Spanker Pro is the community updates. What this is going to be, an area after every time that you click to add add to block a user agent or add to block an IP, it's going to go down to our central server, and then we're going to moderate that list, because I'm not just going to allow people to put everything under the sun and have it propagate to everybody's blogs. So we're going to look into what's being submitted by the community, what's going to be, how it's going to be voted on. We're going to see how many users submit the same IPs and the same user agents, and then we're going to push these updates up to your blogs once we have them. But it's not going to be automatic, because some weird people might do some weird things, and we don't want that to happen. So community updates is going to be cool. We're still trying to refine all the small details about that, but just know right now that we are capturing everything. Now, you can turn this off if you don't want to share your settings. Just turn it off. But it's going to be checked by default, so we can gather what you consider to be a bad bot or a bad IP. And then we're going to look into it, moderate it, and get those out to the community. I think that's going to be really helpful in building this list of blocks. I've already got a lot of blocks in here that you should keep. And you know what, guys, that's just about it. I can't think of anything else to say, and I don't want to take up any more of your time. Get this plugin downloaded, get it installed, and enjoy. Tell all your friends. Thanks. Take care.